Okay, guys. So, apparently, I did look this up. Sorry, but this would help get back to the main building too. And so I'm just at the end of the game. I actually did beat it, as you saw earlier, but I'm gonna do some of the extra stuff here. See what happens. Alright, I don't think we got the janitors anymore to worry about, which is cool. Still got the freaky, scary, screaming ghost. Oh, never mind. Janitor's still here. Yeah, hold on. I'm almost there. Okay, open. Main building 2. Here we go. So last time we tried to go through the main building, we were in an endless maze with some weird, creepy singing. Okay, here we are. I don't know how this works. I'm guessing it'll just allow me to go through without it being endless. The scratch marks are gone. Yeah, this is different. I'm gonna make it back. We back. What floor are we on again? Second floor, and I assume we still have the actual janitor to worry about. Alright, so I'm gonna do some heavy editing here, just so no one gets bored. C2 airplane, hat symbol. C2 airplane, hat symbol. It's all of them, right? Okay, I'm at the puzzle here. So there's the number 2. That way. There's an airplane. And then that symbol. There we go. Got it. We got a document. Another ghost story. The impassable bridge. Hold on. Although it was early in the morning, the whole school was filled with an uneasy buzz. Xiao Min, sorry if I said that wrong, a student was found unconscious in the hallway. This particular hallway was the passageway between the main building and the new building, and it was rarely used. I've been there. It was built with an interesting design that puzzled all those who set eyes on it. Its purpose was to be a bridge that connects one building to another, but it was shaped like a tunnel with fluorescent lighting, but not one window. This made it seem creepy even during the daytime. What's more, getting to the other building wasn't a straight path but instead twisted and turned. All of that combined made fewer and fewer students use the walkway, and the less that people use it, the more creepy the rumors about it became. One rumor said that while walking down the passageway, which felt like walking into a cave, there were sounds of footsteps either behind you or coming from the front. Either way, you never see anyone there. Another rumor said that if you enter this hallway in the middle of the night, you will never get to the other building but instead get lost in a labyrinth of corridors until the break of dawn. Yo, that was me. The night before the accident took place, Xiao Min told his friends that he didn't believe in such bogus story. Being teenagers, they dared Xiao Min to prove himself. So Xiao Min and his friends came to the school in the middle of the night. The test Xiao Min was given seemed simple. He only had to go through the passageway, get to the other building, and bring back an object from a classroom. Shulman wasted no time beginning this easy venture and quickly opened the door to the passageway. He disappeared into the darkness and the door behind him shut. Or the door shut behind him. When Shulman was alone, he realized it was scarier than he had imagined. The passageway was without a single window, and all he could see were the small patches of light like islands in a pitch-black sea. Shulman shivered and began to regret making this bet with his friends. When the sound of his footsteps echoed loudly in the empty hallway, it felt like something from the darkness would come running out at him at any second. Okay, so the last 2 sessions I've been recording this, I've done it with the lights off. I regret that decision. Moving on. Shulman gathered together what courage he had left and started walking as fast as he could. That's when something passed by him and lightly brushed his neck, making a metallic sound. His hair stood on end. He felt like something was right behind him. Was he hearing things? He thought he also heard faint laughter. That was me. Shulman, clenching his teeth, bravely turned around. Nothing was there except a completely empty hallway and darkness. Shulman, who has been scared to death, was a bit relieved, until right at that moment when he heard a whisper. "What are you doing here?" Terrified, Shulman ran as fast as he could, screaming. It didn't matter how fast or how far he ran. He would never be able to make it to the building on the other side. At last, Shulman suffered a panic attack and was knocked into unconsciousness. His friends, after waiting for a long time, all returned home. "Yo, those your homies, man? Those your buds?" Nah, man. I'd run in there and try and find you." Everyone was worried for Shulman, yet no one suggested going to look for him. My God. So that's how Shulman was found laying unconscious in the passageway the next day. From that day on, the students have called this passageway the Impassable Bridge, or the Labyrinth. And we had a school document about labyrinths. And that's that one. So there's a few more extra side stuff to do. And I think I'm going to go... So we have the 2 keys that we could combine together. Alright, I got the keys here. I also got a typewriter key in the stairwell by the bathrooms. Alright, let's see what this does. I'm assuming there's a couple desks. Well, I saw a desk in the nurse's room that required a key. Combination of 2 keys combining from a key combining machine. Red leather. Looks like an open small lock. Okay. And I assume... Oh, God. Okay. That was just random. Why though, man? Why? Oh, I could open this one. Never mind. Morse code chart. A card showing how to represent numbers in Morse code. Okay. Okay, guys, I got all the keys for the typewriter. Let's see what that does. Alright, so that one, and that one. Oh, paper magically appeared. Dying message. Okay, this is a rumor. Nobody recognizes me. How much I care and love my students. I only meant for the kids to grow up good and polite. Why is every, few words has a capital? But they only complain how harsh I am without talking about how I feel. Is this a code or something? But I can't endure this. Someday the students will see me differently. Yes, that has to happen. There was a junior year kid who died while sneaking out of the dorm during my watch. Am I so terrifying that the kids would take such an extraordinary route? It's not like I am raising them. Lately I've been doubting myself slowly, convinced that maybe I'm in the wrong. Where did I begin to go wrong? I just heard the rumors today. It was about the kid who recently died. The rumor said maybe I killed the kid myself. I was so bewildered and angry that I could not say anything. Something snapped inside of me. My true intention will never make its way to them. I am sick of everything. quieter I get, the louder they buzz, like a swarm of disgusting flies. They keep buzzing in my ear. No one is going to save me but myself. I gain nothing from holding back. I cannot hold on to it anymore. Today I will make an example out of someone. They will never be noisy again. This is a war that will not end until one of us is gone. Yo. Okay. Um. O-R... X... O-R-S-X... I don't know if that means anything. Whatever. Okay, that one's done. Alright, what next? Alright, I gotta go to the new building. Okay, so on top, where the pool is, there's a blue key somewhere on the floor, I think. For each like combination of key, if you got like a red, yellow, or a blue, green, it opens a certain type of box in the first main building. So just gotta find out where the key is. I assume it's on the platforms here. Not here. Ah, here we go. Blue key. And missing a schedule. There we go, last piece. Got that one. Alright, okay, so we got all the schedule pieces. We'll put them on here, and probably get another note, but they're fun to read. Alright. That one, that one, that one, that one, and that one. Something fell down. Here we go, another note. Ghost story. I'm gonna read this where the sound is not buzzing. Okay, we're good. An incorrectly solved math problem. I'm gonna say Nahai. So I'm going to say it. Nahai, a junior student at Y High School, was a top student, smart and outgoing. She was especially adored by her homeroom teacher. Perhaps that was why she was always full of herself. When the teacher wasn't around, she would act snotty and as if she was better than everyone else in her class. None of her classmates liked her. Everyone avoided her, but Nahai could not care less. What does it matter what they say or think about me? They're all losers, Nahai thought to herself. Nahai was prideful and had a large ego. Then one cool autumn day, the subject for fifth period was math, the subject that the homeroom teacher taught. It was right after lunch, and with the cool breeze coming in through the window, most students were nodding off during the lesson. To wake the class up, the irritated teacher called a few students to the board to solve some problems. Nahai was one of the students who was called up. One by one, students returned to their seat after solving their problem. Since the problems were easy, no one got them wrong. Except Nahai. Damn, she probably was like the laughing stock of the class. She had read the question wrong and incorrectly solved the problem. This was unheard of considering her skill in math. In front of the whole class, the teacher rebuked Nahai, saying that it was a stupid mistake. Damn, did he say outright stupid? Jeez. The teacher intended for Nahai to remember the embarrassment and never make the same mistake again. Nahai could not lift her head out of shame. Her face turned bright red. The kids could not stop snickering. The fact that the teacher's pet was being scolded right in front of them was fun and satisfying. When the teacher left at the end of the lesson, all the kids started talking about what had just happened to Nahai. They sounded excited, like they had finally had something to hold over her. Nahai was angry. She blamed the teacher who embarrassed her in front of the class. She hated her classmates who took it as an opportunity to talk behind her back even more, and she was angry at herself for getting the stupid question wrong. Even when she went home after school, she could not get it out of her mind. She hated her eyes for reading the question wrong. It's not my fault, she decided. She rationalized to herself that the problem was not hers, but her eyes. Where's this gonna go? Soon a terrible sound was heard, and the workbook on her desk was splattered with red. The next day, Nahai's classmates trembled with fear when it was announced that Nahai had committed suicide by digging her eyes out with a knife. Dude. After this happened, a rumor spread that whenever a math problem is left on the chalkboard, Nahai's ghost is summoned. It is said that the ghost would stare at the problem on the chalkboard, but her eye sockets would be empty holes. I don't like that. Is there a math problem here? No, there's not. Okay, so that's the scheduling, and here comes the frickin' ghost again. I got a blue key, and I'm gonna go combine those. Oh, Jesus! It was right there. God damn it. Alright, so I'm gonna do this. So I could separate this, I think. Alright, so I'm gonna do red and blue. Okay. That. Now you're fine. Okay. And for the... I have a wooden... Where is it? So I collected a few stuff already I would need for other side stuff. The wooden handle. It goes in one of those boxes that are in the hallways of the main building one. Not those ones, the bigger ones. Like this one. I'm trying to figure out which one it is though. Nope, not that one. Alright, so I can get this one. And this is the dark key. Okay, so the wooden handle should work for this one. And there we go. And that gives me a document. This one is called Boy Kills Girl. G-Shab. Let's say it like that, G-Shab. A new transfer student to Y High School had recently heard a horror story about the school from a classmate. So of course, of all the nights, the night he had to come back to school to grab something he left was a stormy night. The quiet pouring of the rain reminded him too much of the scary story. Only a few years before, there was a student named Ji-hee. She was dating a boy named Myung-ho, who shared the same homeroom with her during the first 2 years of school. When they were in their senior year, they were assigned to different homerooms, and Ji-hee began dating Ho-young, who was in the same homeroom as her. Myung-ho could not accept such a sudden breakup after dating Ji-hee for 2 years. He tried multiple times to go to see her and plead his case, but Ji-hee completely ignored him. Growing more resentful with each rejection, Myung-ho began to hate Ji-hee. One day, Myung-ho decided to go see Ji-hee one last time in her homeroom during lunch break. One last time, you say. Ji-hee, just like all the times before, was cold and cruel and ignored his pleas. Enraged, Myung-ho took out the knife he had brought with him. Of course he wasn't planning on hurting her. He wanted to mend his wounded ego by watching her tremble, seeing her finally acknowledge him. However, Jihi knew him all too well. She knew that even though he acted tough, he was just a narrow-minded, scared little boy. Seeing that his desperate attempt with the knife made him so repulsive that she became angry at him. She called him names and taunted that he would never have the guts to actually use the knife. At last, her taunting worked. Myung-ho, momentarily blinded by rage, swung the knife and stabbed Jihi. Jihi fell to the ground, her blood running across the entire floor. Myung-ho, scared and confused by the scene, went berserk. Due to Myung-ho slashing his knife crazily around, no one dared to go near Jihi. They could only watch from afar as she bled out. Since that day, there is said to have been sightings of female ghosts lying down on the floor as if asleep. Yeah, I've been seeing them. Ji-shob tried to block the story from his mind. When he reached the classroom, when he opened the door, though, his efforts were in vain and he tripped. Falling backwards in terror, he saw a lying girl on the ground in the dark, like she was fast asleep. I've been there, buddy. I've been there. Alright, so I'm gonna use the combination key thing again, and I'm gonna open this one right here. Alright. So we should get darkness yellow. Open this one up. Got another document. The wailing from the art room. Seol-hoon had a crush on the new art teacher at Y High School. The art teacher was young and talented, and Seol-hoon wasn't the only girl who fell for him. Am I saying that right? Seol-hoon? Seol-hoon? I don't know. Desperate to become his favorite student, she gave her all in her art class. She had always been gifted with her hands since she was a child, and soon she did become his star pupil. Seeing Seol-hoon's talents, the art teacher advised her to apply for an art college. Seol-hoon, I'm having trouble saying these names, man, accepted his advice and began to take private lessons with him. This was a dream come true for her, to be left alone in school with her crush, spending hours together practicing art. There's a lot of students who have, like, especially in this game, crushes on their teacher. This was not prominent back when I was in school. No. I mean, there was a few, mostly, like, not the teachers, the TAs. There was a few TAs. Damn. There was a few. Whew. At some point, a strange rumor started circulating through the school. The rumor was that there was a teacher dating a student. The rumor made its way into the ear of the school administration, and soon the young art teacher left without warning, as if he was banished from the school. Sorry, just getting comfortable. The rumor was never confirmed. In the middle of the night, with her favorite teacher gone, Seal sat alone in art room. The faint moonlight through the windows rested on her shaking shoulders. She was crying mournfully. In her hand she held an unfinished clay doll of a woman. Great care had been taken in forming the clay doll's face, and it looked just like Seol-hoon. With her eyes full of resentment, she stared at the doll. The next day, the whole school was in shock. The dead body of a female student has been found. It has been revealed that the girl had killed herself by overdosing on sleeping pills. Even more shocking, however, was that the dead girl was found to be pregnant. Oh, that's the doll we have, and the baby. That was her. Damn. The school tried to prevent students from spreading unconfirmed rumors about this accident, but soon the whole school knew that there were all sorts of theories about the girl and who the father was. A lot of people pointed their finger at the art teacher, but it was never confirmed. After the accident, people began to report that they could hear babies crying near the art room. At first, the crying was so faint that people merely thought they were hearing things, but as time went on, it became so loud that the vibrations felt like an earthquake. A baby's ghost, with its umbilical cord wrapped tightly around its neck, was also reported as appearing. Even to this day, they say you can see a baby's ghost in search of something during a shadowy moonlit nights. It is imperative you must remember not to follow it. For should you fail to find what the baby wants, it might drag you down into deep darkness instead. Alright. So we got another combination to make, and that'll be the end of the keys. We got dark blue. Alright. And blue and dark. Here we go. Let's go. Alright, so the last place to open is this one. And we got a paper crane. So we got 4 now. I think there's a few more I have to get. But alright, that one's done. So we finished the eye test. We finished the schedules. We still got the paperweights. I think we finished the pens. Finished the eye test, typewriter, and the handle. Something about Morse code. I think we have all the. I think I got all the weights already. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weights. Okay. So there is the student department office, and a few videos ago, there's this. And there is a way to open it, but it has to do with the dying message that we got from the typewriter. I'm not sure how exactly to go about this, but I think this is the way. And I did look this up again. I beat the game already. I'm allowed to. So I want to say, so the O in grow is the 3rd letter. So I want to say, so it's going to be 3. So I want to do it that way. Actually, no, that wouldn't work. God damn it! I don't know how to solve this. Okay, so I'm just gonna get each letter and just put it down on like a note. So O R Okay, so the first the first uppercase letters spell 4. Alright, what are the next ones? Some data seem differently. Stop and there was a G. Okay, so I think the next one spells 6. Well, I guess that is a capital I after MI. So I guess I'll count that. 4, 6, 2, and 5. Okay. Alright, I got it. Four, 6, 2, 5. Alright, let's open this up. Four, 6, 2, 5. There we go. And we got small master key. Small master key, it looks like it can open drawers and other objects. Oh my god, there's so many drawers I gotta open. Oh boy. I'm gonna be a while. Nothing. There's gonna be a lot of nothing here. Okay, so I don't know if this is the only use it has. I did try their drawers and lockers, and so far I found nothing in them. But in this one, we get the ghost of a house parent. At the time of its establishment, Y High School was in the middle of nowhere, at the base of a mountain with hardly any human traffic. Due to this reason, Y High School had dormitories for the students. In the female dorm, there was a notorious house mother, Miss C, whom everyone was afraid of. Coming from a good family background, she demanded that the students behaved and followed rules at all times. She would give harsh punishments for any violation of the rules, and this caused many students to complain about her. It was a little after the midterm when Junior fell out of a third floor window and died. She was trying to sneak out of the dorms while evading the house mother's watch to go out and celebrate at the end of the midterms. But for some reason, the rumor spread that the girl committed suicide because of Miss C, or even worse, that Miss C had killed that girl herself. Missy was in a great shock, and for a while she stayed silent as if her spirit was broken. The students were happy about this change and secretly kept an eye on Missy to see if she would return to her old self. Then came the incident that riled up all the students. Missy was doing her rounds and found a student whose hair was longer than regulation. Missy took the student to the bathroom and cut the girl's hair, but when that happened, the student and all of her friends surrounded Missy and protested against her harsh punishment and strict rules. At first, there was only a few students who spoke up. Then, one by one, they were joined by other angry voices opposing Miss C, and soon enough, every student in the female dorm started protesting against her. Anywhere Miss C looked, an angry glare met her gaze. Finally, Miss C broke under all the pressure and her own pent-up emotions, and she ran out of the dorm, screaming like a madwoman. None of the students cared. No one went after her trying to calm her down. In the end, Miss C's body was found in a nearby mountain a few days after she went missing. Since then, people started reporting that they've seen the ghost of Miss C. The rumor spread quickly, and the girls in the dormitory suffered from insomnia and fear. Eventually, the dorm had to be shut down. Even so, there are still sporadic reports of sightings of Miss C's ghost. Alright. Okay, I got some new building duties to do right now. There's that one, that one, that one, that one, that one, and that one. What? There's 6? Oh, I didn't even know that was the way to do that. So, I did look up where to find them, but I didn't look up how to do it. So I was confused that I was missing one. I guess that's how that works. Oh, no. Extreme dieting death. Young Mi was a senior high school student, and she had never been happy with her body. She was excited to become a university student with only the entrance exam standing in her way, but regretted that she wouldn't get to have any campus romance with her kind of body, so she would always say that she was on a diet. The strange thing was that she didn't look overweight to others. The people around her would tease her that she should actually gain a few pounds. Still, Young Mi doubted their words. When she looked in the mirror at the back of the classroom, she only saw an overweight girl. Look at what a pig I am. How could they call me thin? How could they say that I could gain a few pounds? I don't know anyone personally, but yeah, there's definitely people out there like that. The only conclusion that Young Mi could come to was that they were being sarcastic. Just you wait, I'll become thin. I'll not eat anything until I am thin. From that day, Young Mi didn't eat anything. It would only drink water. She became thinner by the day until it was to the point where she was just skin and bones. She barely had the energy to even move, but she continued her refusal to eat. When she was forced to eat even just a little, she would run straight to the bathroom and throw up. She's bulimic. She had lost so much weight that watching her walk around the school was a creepy sight. Her friends and teachers, who at first had been worried, began to avoid her. That part is that's wrong. Then one day a new boy transferred to her class. Wanting to make quick friends, he treated the whole class to pizza and burgers. With the teacher's permission, they served the food in the classroom and held a party. Everyone was able to enjoy the food while relaxing and letting go of their stress, preparing for the college entrance exam. The transfer student spotted young Mi sitting by herself by the window. Even in this celebratory mood, she was not eating. The thought never occurred to him that she was on a diet. He just figured that she didn't get her share yet. So he brought her one of the remaining burgers and a soda. No, I'm not eating. I won't eat anything. I'm still fat in the mirror, can't you see? Young Mi stood up and shouted with rage as she pointed at the mirror at the back of the classroom. Suddenly the classroom went quiet. Her face was contorted with anger. and her eyes gleamed with insanity. Young Me started snickering and looked around her. All the kids' eyes were locked on her in fear. To her it seemed like they were all staring with eyes filled with disdain. Young Me stormed out of the classroom, screaming. Nobody moved to stop her. In the end, she was found dead in the mountain nearby, having starved to death. Her classmates tried to figure out what Young Me meant with her last words. What does she mean by the mirror? We don't have a mirror in our classroom. Damn. Alright. So I assume I have to get it in the middle? Okay. Take off the 30. I'll put the 50. I'll put in the 10. Nope. Still heavier. Alright, how about the 50 and the 30? It's close. There we go. Something fell down. Thank you, God. The kid in the corner. So he had always been terrified of bugs ever since she was young. She especially found spiders the most repulsive of all. Her school, Y High School, was an old building that was built at the base of a mountain. So naturally there were lots of bugs and spiders. She was always very stressed because of this. That's why she was so happy to begin her senior year. Unlike the first 2 years of high school, her classrooms this year were located in the new building. Since it's new, she expected there would be no bugs, and that she would be able to attend her classes carefree. On the first day, there was a strange girl in her class. This girl gave her the creeps because her long hair covered most of her face, so he could not recall ever seeing her at the school before. The weird girl's face was so unfamiliar it made her doubt if she was really a student at her school. She always sat in the corner, away from others, and hardly ever moved. She wouldn't even get up during breaks or lunchtime, for some reason, so he couldn't help but be bothered by her. One hot summer day, unable to concentrate in class, so he snuck a glance at the weird girl. What she saw completely shocked her. The girl was chewing on a moth. Startled, so he turned to look at the bug-eating girl again, but this time she saw nothing out of the ordinary. So he thought that she must have been seeing things because of the blazing hot day. Then the girl sent Zoe a knowing smirk. It creeped her out so much that she became terrified of her. After that, the creepy girl stopped coming to school. Zoe was bothered by her sudden disappearance at first, but as time passed in peace, she forgot about her. One day, while on her way home, Zoe realized that she left something at school, so she went back to get it. Just moments before, the school was filled with sounds of the students leaving, but now it was quiet as the grave. So he entered the classroom and turned on the light. There was nothing but empty desks and chairs inside, just as it should be. So he went to her desk to retrieve what she had forgot, where she spotted something black swaying in the back of the classroom out of the corner of her eye. So he squinted her eyes, taking a closer look at what was hanging. When she realized what she was looking at, she froze in terror. As she slowly raised her eyes, she could follow the long curtain of black hair up to the body of a creepy girl who had disappeared. The girl was clinging to the ceiling, her limbs twisted at inhuman angles. She looked like a spider perched in its web, preparing to pounce on its prey. Spotting Zoe, the spider girl scuttled quickly across the ceiling towards the petrified Zoe. The girl's long black hair shot out like a spider web, wrapping around Zoe and pulling her up. The lights flickered twice, and the classroom went dark. One long, terrifying scream echoed through the halls before it was abruptly cut off. No one ever saw Zoe again after that day. The spider that used to hang in the corner of the classroom was missing too. Alright, that's the lady in the classrooms in the new building. Hope she doesn't appear here. Okay, good. No heart attack today, I'm fine. Okay, so I just got some chalk. I'm in the main building 1 on the 2nd floor. Fire room 2-7. I got the chalk from room 2-8. And we have the bloody workbook. So apparently these can be used in room 2-7. The love letter, we already actually went through that. In the second video, the girl in the window, because we had this love letter, we got that sort of event that happened. And we're going to see what happens with the chalk and the A bloody workbook. Oh, oh, it's that girl who took her eyes out because she got the math problem wrong.
That can't be.
Hello,
How is this wrong? That can't be.
hello. Oh God, why did I go like that? Oh, her eyes, eyes. Are you okay?
My eyes!
Oh God. Okay, she's gone. Oh shit. The um. Oh wait. Teacher through the door. Yep, the gym teacher. So that was her. The girl who wrote the teacher the love letter. The gym teacher uh he read it out to the class and yeah, on from there. But did she have to hit me though? Damn it. I'm hurt. Now what? Okay, so I'm in the new building now. Got two things left to look for. So I'm on the top floor, the fourth floor, and we have a report card. A report card of a good student. Looks like he or she ranked in second place for getting a few questions wrong. And we read the ghost story about this. Perfect student, always good grades, but then someone else comes in and gets higher grades than her. And yeah, she couldn't keep up, and well, you know the rest. She died. But apparently, we could find her in here. No idea where though. Is she reading the Einstein book? Oh, there she is. Hi, friend. Oh god. Oh god, that's horrible. Oh no. Dot, 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 dash, dash, 3, dot, dash, 3124, dash, 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 dot, dot, dash, 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 dot, 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 and then dash. So 3124, I think. Okay, I think I got the hang of it. Now I gotta go to the new building in the music appreciation room. This should be the last thing we have to do. Okay, so I did die, but it just got me fear faster. So, 3, 1, 2, there we go. I can sort of read Morse code. Number 9, Lost Face. Una was a popular girl. Not only was she pretty, she was musically talented as well, winning many awards since she was young. Everyone loved her. As often happens in these cases, everyone wanted to be friends with her and she became egotistical. In contrast, Misuk was hardly known by anyone in school. She thought she was ugly. That caused her to have self-confidence issues, making her timid and introverted. Due of this, she had no friends to speak of, even her classmates hardly acknowledged her existence. One day, Una was walking in the hallway while noisily chatting with her friends. Misuk focused on cleaning, Didn't realize anyone was there until Ina ran into her. Misuk stumbled and dropped the mop bucket she was carrying, spilling dirty water all over the hallway. Una never said sorry. She barely spared a glance at Misuk, then walked away silently. Angered, Misuk went after her and demanded an apology. Instead, she was mocked. What are you blubbering about? You're as ugly and dirty as that mop water. Haha. The other kids snickered in agreement with Una's cruel remark. Misuk's face turned red with embarrassment and anger. From that day on, she was an easy target for bullying. Every time she walked by, everyone would mock her without caring if she could hear. As time passed on, her resentment towards Una grew to hatred for Una. She decided that she would get revenge on Una for what she had started. How pretty does she think she is? Does she think that beauty lasts forever? We'll see about that. One day, Una was chatting away with her friends in the music appreciation room. Misuk quietly approached them, and as usual, the kids began mocking her. No one paid any attention to the bottle she had held in her hand. Misuk took cap off the sulfuric acid she brought and threw it in Una's face. Una's screams of pain filled up the room and echoed through the halls. The kids around her scrambled away in horror. Not one soul stayed behind to help Una. Una pleaded for help as she screamed in agony, but Misuk just smiled cruelly and watched her beg. Una's pretty face was eaten away by the acid. She was fortunate to have survived the attack, but it left her with a hideous scar covering half her face. There was no trace of her former beauty to be found. After that incident, she would not go to school, refusing to even come out of her house. She broke all mirrors inside, and her disfigured eyes, being sensitive to light, caused her to keep the house eternally dark. Her depression became so deep that one day it drove her to leap from the roof of the house. They said it was hard to identify her body because she struck the ground face first, completely destroying what had remained. Since her death, there are rumors of sightings of Ina's ghost in the music appreciation room. It is said her ghost always has her back turned, and that you'll die if you ever see her face. Okay, now this has me hesitating to turn around right now. Okay, we're safe. Okay, so I did all the miscellaneous stuff, but I don't got all the ghost stories. So I gotta find me these ghost stories. So I'm missing 5, which is right here, I believe. Is it right here? Ah, there it is. Number 5, Ghost Tree. Mihyun quickened her steps towards the classroom. Whatever sunlight there was had now completely disappeared, and the school was covered in darkness. Mihyun was annoyed with her friends. They had stopped on their way home to chat with her. Even though she was still busy cleaning, they didn't even offer to help and just left her on her own when they ran out of things to talk about. This made Mihyun uneasy, as Y High School was full of scary rumors. To make matters worse, she saw no students around today. She found the echoing of her own footsteps quite nerve-wracking. Her anxiety grew even more when she saw the potted tree in the corner of the hallway. This plant used to belong to her homeroom teacher last year. It reminded her of him and what happened that year. Her homeroom teacher, Mr. B, taught Chinese. He was quiet and had a thin build. He gave off a sad vibe. He wasn't friendly at all, not even trying to connect with his students or fellow teachers. He did, however, seem interested in maintaining his plants. He took extra care in the plant of his homeroom. Junior homeroom too. He cared for his plants so much that he checked on it during every class break. Then one day, a student accidentally dumped chemical solvent on Mr. B's favorite tree. The tree turned black and shriveled up completely. Afraid of the repercussions, the student replaced the tree and decided to burn the old one. Even his friends were in on his plan. Together they moved the dead plant to the incinerator and lit it on fire. The dead tree easily caught fire and was soon burning with billowing black smoke. When the flames grew more intense, a scream was heard. It was like the burning tree was screaming out in pain. That's when Mr. B came running. Watching his favorite tree burning made him go crazy. Before anyone could reason with him, he dashed in the open flames to be with his favorite tree in the fire. Both Mr. B and the tree were engulfed in flames in a matter of seconds. No one spoke. Everyone was in shock from what they had just observed. Judging from the matching statements from the students involved, the police decided that it was a case of suicide by delusion. Mi-Hyun was there that day at the incinerator. That's why every time she saw a plant Mr. B used to care for, it made her shiver. She normally made an effort to not pass through where the plants were. She would have walked around it today too if she wasn't in such a hurry. Mihyun tried hard to calm herself down when she saw a light out in a nearby homeroom. She heard someone moving in there too. Scared of being left alone in the dark building, she was happy to see there was someone else in the school. She quickly opened the classroom door, but what she saw was the back of a man in front of a plant. Mihyun froze in terror, and she realized what she was seeing. This was her homeroom from last year, junior homeroom too. The man slowly turned around and faced Mihyun. He was holding a dog's corpse with its belly ripped open and his other hand was covered in blood. Behind him, Mihyun could see that the blood and organs were covering the leaves and stems. He slowly approached Mihyun and said, "Oh good, I was running out of food for my tree." I love reading those, they're awesome. Alright guys, found another ghost story. This is number 7. So we're missing 18 and 20 after this one. Alright. So 7, the secret of the pond. And this is what we learned about back in the new building. A long time ago, there used to be a small pond between the main building and the auditorium. They say that the pond was created by a bomb during the war, and it had obliterated a refugee tent that had been pitched there. Obviously, every refugee in the tent died. It was said that the bottom of the pond was tainted red with their blood. There is another story about the pond as well. If you write to your crush asking them to come to the pond and they show up, you'll live happily ever after with them. A warning though, if your crush doesn't show up, then you'll die by the pond's curse. Dasam, a quiet and shy student, had a crush on an older student named Chanyol. Her crush deepened and she couldn't deal with her longing anymore. She finally decided to write a letter to Chanyol and wait at the pond, but her letter never made it to him. The letter passed through many hands, but somewhere down the line it got lost. Dasam had no idea that her letter was never delivered and waited for him all night at the pond's edge. The cold night spent by the pond caused her to come down with a serious fever, and she had to miss school for quite some time. After Dasam nearly recovered, she returned to school and was even quieter and more timid than before. Her friends tried as much as they could to console her, but she ended up transferring to a different school. It was only a few days later that her body was found floating in the pond. It is said that, on a night with a waning moon, never heard of that, waning, a ghost appears who silently looks in from outside the building. They say that the water-bloated ghost, with eyes gleaming wildly underneath dripping wet hair, searches for the boy who has her letter. Rip to him. Alright guys, got one note over here. So, in the new building, the chairman's office, the one where we got the puzzle for the eye test, there is these photos up there, but they have to be arranged in a certain order in this place. If you arrange them like the way they are in the chairman office, so I will do that now. The way I did it was bald, far right, purple, far left, gray, second to right, and there we go. Something fell. 20, the missing children. Jung Jae was heading home really late after a school club activity. He belonged to the Mystery Research Club. They collected and studied all kinds of rumors, myths, and urban legends. The collection was not only from their own school, but from every city around. Lately he was working on sorting through contents for their sporadically published club magazine. At a busy time like this, the club's president was nowhere to be seen. Due to his absence, Jung Jae, as vice president, had to do everything himself. That was the reason why he was heading home so late. Still preoccupied with his work, he was thinking about the magazine even while he was crossing the bridge. Just then somebody spoke to him. "Hello, dearie. I'd like to ask you something." It was a kind and warm-looking grandma who approached him. Her chignon hairstyle and her bent back reminded Jung Jae of his own grandma out in the countryside. Right before he was going to answer her, he suddenly paused and wondered, why was this old lady at school at this late hour? In the moment, he recalled a ghost story that he investigated a while back. The building of Y High School was erected in the occupation era and was used as a refugee camp during the Korean War. In the refugee camp, there were lots of orphans who had lost their parents in the midst of war. Since the situation was so grim, no one really had the luxury of worrying about these kids. Then some grandma took these orphans under her wing and took care of them. The kids depended on her and got along with her well. The people didn't suspect anything of this grandma. Oh no, is grandma evil? Oh no. Then one day, the grandma and the orphans suddenly disappeared. The refugees thought it was strange, but as if they had previously agreed, they kept silent about it. It was a time where such things happened. A short while after that, a woman came to the camp. She was a mother of one of the orphans. The woman went through so much to find the whereabouts of her child and was finally here to reunite with them. When she heard of the disappearance of her child, she wailed with despair. The refugees, who felt a little guilty, about not having done anything about the disappearance of the orphans, were finally moved to action by the woman's heart-wrenching cries. Led by a former hunter, a few refugees decided to help the woman in search for the missing orphans. They followed the trail of the children up into the mountain. When they got halfway up, they found an old rundown hut. They were greeted with the rotting stench of corpses inside the hut and found the hut was full of small white bones, which seemed relatively fresh. It was said that they never found the old grandma. Jung Jae couldn't figure out why he had suddenly remembered the ghost story. Feeling spooky, he kept his mouth shut. Maybe it was the old traditional dress that the grandma was wearing. The old grandma, who was pressing on Jung Jae with her questions, slowly revealed herself, and her face twisted and turned into the face of a demon's. From her dark and empty eye sockets, red light gleamed. She mumbled as she smacked her lips. So close. What a pity. The next thing he knew, he was waking up at his desk. He must have fallen asleep while sorting out the materials. Still, it seemed all too real to be just a dream. On paper in front of them, there was a warning from the material he was reading right before he fell asleep. Never answer her questions. Okay, that one spooked me a bit. Alright, one more ghost story. It's in the new building. See you guys over there. Alright guys, we got one more note. It's here in the electrical room somewhere. I think this is it. Alright, got all the ghost stories. The mystery in the biology lab. There were many strange rumors surrounding the biology lab. Most of them feature a walking mannequin or a scraping noise across the floor. Almost most of these rumors were based off the history of the school building. The history of the school building goes all the way back to the occupation era. The building was used as a concentration camp for political prisoners. Some parts of the concentration camp were used by the occupying military to conduct horrendous experiments on human subjects. Every single experiment that was conducted there was evil and inhumane. The screams of the subjects filled the air around the clock. Students believe that the location of the biology lab used to be one of those human experimentation labs. So every time there was an accident in the biology lab, the students always brought up the idea that it had something to do with the curse of the human experiment victims who were killed there, or that the head researcher remained in the form of a ghost. Some even went on to say that the anatomy mannequin in the corner of the room was actually a corpse of one of the experiment subjects. However, the most famous rumor of them all was the imprisonment accident. D didn't get very good grades, but he was especially interested in science and he worked hard in his studies. The science teacher took pity on him and recommended D to be the school's representative for a science contest. D saw it as a great opportunity for him and studied even harder. With the teacher's permission, he stayed behind every day after school and had to study more and prepare himself for the contest. The area which he spent the greatest amount of effort on was the human anatomy composition. He studied the anatomy mannequin on a daily basis. A few days before the science contest, D, who was studying alone in the biology lab, was so exhausted that he fell asleep. When he woke up, it was dark and the lights had been turned off. He tried to turn the light back on, but it didn't work. Even the door seemed to be locked from the outside. He had no choice but to stay in the dark biology lab and spend the night there. He usually never bothered to think about the rumors, but his current situation triggered his memory to replay all of the scary stories he had heard. The more he tried to not think about them, the stronger they came to his mind. D was becoming more afraid with each passing second. He was especially afraid of the anatomy mannequin in the dark. His heartbeat raced and it was becoming hard for him to breathe. D was so scared that he decided to light an alcohol lamp. Just as the flame brought its flickering light to the room, the anatomy mannequin suddenly became alive and slowly started to move towards D. I gotta chill after reading that part. The next morning, D was found dead in the biology lab. The cause of death was reported as heart attack. What was failed to be explained was that his nails were ripped from their beds, and then on the biology lab's door there was a scratch marks with trails of blood, and a word scrawled in blood that read anatomy mannequin. Alright, that's all I'm gonna get. Um, I have no doubt that I'm probably missing some rumors too.
Yeah,
Okay, so
I'm okay.
we
Don't
are doing
worry.
this.
I'm really, well, I think.
And 10 to Jihoon's ankle. See what happens here. And I guess we get our ending. This is the second ending we have had. Dandelion.
Oh, it's alright. Wow, it feels a lot better. This is great. Where did you learn to do this? Mm, do you want to sit? The others are fine too, right? I hope they come before long. I really want to get out of here.
See, this seems more, a little bit happier. Oh, what the hell?
Wow. I wonder what kind of light this is.
Hey! Honestly, I did kind of like Jihoon more. I'm all for this. Who's Sung Hae? Huh? You want chocolate? Give her chocolate. Chocolate! Yes! We finally gave it to somebody. We finally gave it to somebody. And 2 other girls are dead. Jeez. Well, there we go. I might get the other endings if I can, if there are others to get endings from. The way I play the game. But yeah, I'll do my post commentary after this. We didn't get to look at the full credits last time, so I'll leave it here. And there might be the end credits as well, so watch out for that. Alright, I'm here for the post commentary. This was White Day at Labyrinth Name School. And so I mentioned in the commentary about getting the other endings. There's 10 other endings, so I probably won't get them. Well, we got 2. And the endings evolve around each girl, Sunga, Jihoon, and Soyoung, the actual girl we came here for. But we got Jihoon in the end, and I think that's a better choice. But yeah, so this game involves a lot of choices that we and of course those choices would determine which endings you get in the game, who you're nice to, who you're flirting with, and everything. Um, so I may just watch those on YouTube, the other endings. And so for the game itself, I enjoyed it a lot. This was pretty cool. This I mentioned this in the first part. This is a remake. The original game was made in 2001, I believe, and I want to say like, is this because this game came out in 2001? Is this like the first like hide and seek game, like something like Outlast or Amnesia? Would this be considered the first one, or was there ones before this? I'm interested to find out to see if there's like anything before this that came out that's like that, like hiding from, in this case, the janitor, being stealth and all that, being quiet and everything. I'd be interested to know. But yeah, this game was fun. There's a lot to collect, and a lot of stuff to read too, which I don't mind. I loved reading the ghost stories. Thought probably those were one of the best parts of the game, and very creative. Enjoyed those. The scares are great as well. So the actual thing in this game that can hurt you is the janitors themselves. The way I edited this game, it felt like always running from the janitor and hiding in the bathroom was getting a little boring, so I did cut most of that just so the videos can progress and so people won't be bored. If you didn't like that, sorry. Other than that, by the way, there is a ton of collectibles in this game. Of course with the endings also, so there has to be, there's a lot of replayability here. Collectibles, endings, costumes for everyone, even the janitors. But yeah, and also there's like a glossary for each of the ghosts you meet. I didn't meet all of them. I didn't get some of them, but most of them I did. And it's like a bio of each of the ghosts and just the stories that pertain to them that we've read. But yeah, those were cool. Nothing else I could really say. I just enjoyed my time with this. I hear there's a White Day 2 coming out, so I'll check that out whenever it comes out. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. The next game I'll play, I'm not too sure. Of course, more Dreams on the way. I'm thinking of playing the medium next. Maybe. Probably. But yeah. Hope you guys enjoy the videos, and I'll see you in my other ones. Peace.